mourning the loss of friends and family following that deadly mudslide. But amid the tragedy, there are remarkable stories of survival. Early Show national correspondent Hattie Kaufman reports.
And I thought I was going to die buried alive.
Diane Hart is the last victim pulled alive from the La Conchita mudslide. Earlier, as she saw her neighbors running frantically down the street, she knew the mountain was coming down.
And the house started collapsing on me. And then it pushed me several yards with all the debris. I could feel the boards and the rocks and everything pushing me.
Oh, my goodness.
Like you were sliding down a hill or something. I had a pocket of space right in here.
A little tiny pocket right between your arms.
Between my face and my thighs.
Despite 12 broken ribs, 3 broken vertebrae, a crushed left arm, and a broken right shoulder, her training as a nurse kicked in. She told herself to relax and breathe.
And so I just calmed myself down, and I said, my first thing is I got to get air in my lungs. And I prayed.
You prayed?
I prayed. I just didn't want to die that way. I never pictured myself dying that way, and I couldn't do that to my family.
Desperately searching for her was her longtime friend and neighbor, Brett Johnston.
I just always said to her, I just said, you know, Diane, if anything ever was to happen, I was going to come for you.
He used to say, I could save you from a burning building. I could save you from this, and I could save you from that. And he'd joke about it, you know.
Now, Diane found herself entombed under 10 feet of mud and debris. She could hear nothing above her, only the voice of another victim below.
I heard somebody yelling underneath me, "Can you hear me down here?" And I still don't know who that is.
And then only silence. Meanwhile, Brett was clawing at the dirt with his bare hands.
I had to get to her.
I heard people walking around, so I would holler help.
I started yelling for Diane.
And he said, "Diane, sweetie, you know how I always said I would save you? Oh. I'm going to save you."
And then she said, "Brett, Brett."
I knew I was saved.
Even after they heard each other's voices, it took 4 to 5 hours to dig her out. Finally, she was carefully carried to safety.
What was it like to see her face?
When they retrieved her out of the little crevice that she was in, everything just kind of stopped for a moment. It seemed like time kind of standing still.
And Brett's face came from over the top of my left eye, and he said, "Sweetie, you're alive. I saved you." I said, "I know you did, Brett. Thank you. You saved my life."
Diane will be hospitalized for the next week or so. We witnessed the reunion with her sister.
Give you a hug and kiss. Make sure.
I love you.
I love you too.
Brett had retrieved the one possession of Diane's that survived the mudslide, a pillow that her sister gave her long ago.
The only thing that came out of the house.
While she heals, both
Full
friends
life
are
still.
stunned by their experience.
What has it meant to you that you were able to save her?
It's meant a lot to me because when I got to the scene, I only had one thought in mind, and that was to get Diane.
I'm so blessed to have been saved.
For the Early Show, Hattie Kaufman, CBS News, La Conchita, California.
Diane and Brett, as you can imagine, are still reeling from the emotional impact of their experience. While Brett plans to remain in La Conchita, Diane says she won't be going back. Now here are Hannah and Renee.
Wow.